In about 1.5 years, my payment dropped 50%. Sometimes I go to work, I'm there, I'm available for them, and I just don't receive anything if there's no orders.
The companies like Foodora, Deliveroo and Uber Eats, they view these workers as if they're independent contractors. But nothing could be further from the truth. The right to a minimum wage, the right to superannuation, the right to holiday leave, the right to workplace health and safety protections. These are all the things that workers miss when they're deliberately misclassified by companies like Deliveroo.
Marcello started working for Deliveroo in 2017 and still works for the company. But he's speaking out against what he says many riders see as a complete sham.
Deliveroo says you're a contractor, not an employee. How do you feel they treat you?
They treat me as an employee. They expect you to attend those shifts, and if you don't, they take out your statistics, and it gets harder to get more shifts in the following week.
Jeremy Rhind is a public servant in Canberra. He decided to become a Deliveroo rider to supplement his income.
I was doing it for about 9 or 10 months. After looking over my pay slips for the year, I realised financially it wasn't really worth doing.
Now, by Jeremy's calculations, he reckons he was taking home about $10.50 an hour. That's a full $9 below the Australian minimum hourly wage. Multiply that across every shift for a year, across every rider. We're talking about a fair amount of cash.
We requested an interview with Deliveroo and they provided this statement.
Deliveroo offers well-paid, flexible work to more than 8,000 riders across Australia who are all independent contractors. If riders were employees, the flexibility they enjoy today would be removed.
The only flexibility they have is a decision whether or not to turn on the app. Once they turn on that app, they are completely captive to the company's systems. They're told what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and they're paid what the company wants to pay them, and it's not very much.
Marcello reckons these companies are taking advantage of newly arrived migrants who need the work, don't speak much English and don't know their rights.
We are much more vulnerable, sometimes for not understanding completely. Sometimes it's harder to speak up.
In Canberra, Jeremy is taking a stand and hoping something will change.
I've filed a case in the Federal Circuit Court requesting that Deliveroo pay the proper salary and entitlements that are required under the Australian law.
Jeremy is claiming $6,000 in wages, $2,000 in penalty rates, $1,000 in superannuation and $600 for working on public holidays.
With Jeremy's claim now filed with the Federal Circuit Court, a date will be set, evidence will be heard and each side will argue their case. But this one case could have huge implications for the entire gig economy.
If Jeremy is found to be an employee rather than a contractor, that sets a precedent where many, if not all, of Deliveroo's Aussie riders might also be found to be employees.
We want the federal government to get off its hands. We can't let this new economy exploit Australians any longer.
But tomorrow, riders will be delivering to federal parliament, this time a message demanding protection of their rights.
I think companies like Deliveroo are involved in the biggest sham that the modern economy has ever seen.
Well, they're going to have to rely on legislation, it seems, because, of course, you might recall the Fair Work Ombudsman, in the case of Uber drivers, found them to be contractors rather than employees. Now, whether that's the same with Deliveroo, I suppose we don't know for sure, but each individual complaint's going to have to be investigated on a case-by-case basis if anything's going to change on that front.
We should point out we do have a full statement from Deliveroo on our website as well. We've got to take a break now. Stick around, lots more to come.